traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec, departing runway 26, Griffith. And then we're going to go ahead and check it one more time here. Clear on the right, clear on the left. So we're good that way. And we're just taxiing out here. We'll just turn with our rudder pedals there. Alright, now we're aligned with the runway here. Check our windsock here. Our winds are right down our runway almost completely. And then we're going to go ahead and adjust this to 260. That's our runway. And then we're looking for traffic. We're good that way. And our ceilings are nearly unlimited. Alright, so are you pretty confident on wanting to try it your first time? Or do you want me to go ahead and ride the controls and you can ride along with me?
Do it and I'll ride along with you.
Okay, I have the airplane, but I want you right there on that control, and I want you on the pedals. If, for whatever reason, I need you completely off, I'll just say, I have the controls completely, or off the controls, I have the airplane, or something along those lines. Otherwise, I have the airplane, but I want you riding along, and you can feel right along with me. You can hold on. I'll let you know if you're being too tight on it, all right?
Okay.
So we're good to go there, and power's coming in full. Landing light is on. And our airspeed's coming alive. We have 50. We just lift that nose wheel up, then just let it fly off on its own. And we just lower her back down, get her climbing up there. Once we get to VY, we just continue in that climb. See how that nice little transition?
Yep.
Nothing drastic, nothing crazy or anything. Just nice and easy, and she wants to fly. We're already flying at over 500 feet a minute, a little 152. How about that?
Pretty good.
And obviously, if you can feel that that you have to have a little bit of that right rudder pedal in,
yep,
or else we're not going to keep it in the center of the runway. If we don't keep that right rudder pedal in, we'll get that drift going on there, or we get that yaw going on, and we don't want that. So we just keep it nice and coordinated. All right, now we're above 1,000. I want you to go ahead and take the airplane. You have the power here, and you have the controls. And we'll just continue to climb at VY until we get up to about 2,500. Once we get to 1,500, we'll turn out to the south. So we'll initiate a turn to the south once we get to 1,500. All right, let's go ahead and try a steep turn to the left and then a steep turn to the right. That means we'll be right up in here with our bank angle. Complete 360. We'll hold 2,500. In that steep turns right like this. That's a steep turn right there.
Wow.
All right. Then rolling into the next one. That's why you got to use that rudder pedal. Rudder pedal, right rudder pedal, right rudder pedal. There we go. Back pressure. Pull her back. We're diving down. There. Pull her back. There we go. Got to hold that back pressure in there. Alright, starting to roll out, There we go.
Woo, man.
Can't lose, we don't want to lose any more than 50. They'll let you get by with 100, but you better correct it real quick. But we lost 200 in that, about 225. No more than 100, and we don't want to even lose 100. So really, you want to practice to losing no more than 25, 50, either way in those. Now we're at 2,500. We can go ahead and level that nose back off there.
What's the best way not to lose that when I'm watching outside
You just glance in a little bit, but once you've got it locked in at the horizon, you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay, and then you just glance in, and if you see that the aircraft is descending just a slight little bit, then you make that correction. Let's go ahead and turn to the west here real quick, because I don't want to go right over that tower. See that tower right up there that we're headed straight towards?
Oh, up there?
Yeah. But with you, the reason you were getting a lot of that is you're not using your rudder pedals very much. See how that?
Yeah.
So we gotta, and this is the west, this is the west. Make sure you roll out of your heading, on your headings too.
I think I'm forgetting all about the rudder.
Yeah, and that's really making you have to fight it, because it's very hard to stay in a nice coordinated steep turn without rudder. You can get away with doing some turns without rudder when it's not steep, because you're just sliding and skidding the airplane across the sky, and with all that yaw and everything else, it makes it a little uncomfortable for the passengers. But you can get away with it, but you really can't get away with it when you're talking steep turns. Oops. Probably shouldn't have pulled on that. Okay. Alright. If my lights are starting to light up there, they're on a little bit. So, since you need a little bit of work with that, I got the airplane just for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and bring us down. And I want us to work on, see this road that comes right across here? I'm going to go ahead and have us work on, since we have a strong wind out of the west anyway, I'll have us work on ground reference maneuvers, okay?
Alright.
So I'll do a couple of them, just because I think it's been a while probably since you've done S-turns. You remember the S-turns?
I remember it, yeah.
Okay. So what we'll do is what you want to do, and this really helps you with your stick and rudder skills a lot. I'll get us down here to good altitude for this. Which 1700 is good for this area right now. And get her slowed down here a little bit. Make sure we don't build up any ice in the curve, so I'll bring that heat in for a little while. And bringing it back in and bring the power back in. We're cruising along here at about 1700 at 80, 90 knots. And what we're going to do is we're wings level as we cross over the road. That's the only time that we're going to be wings level in an S-turn. Okay, so as we cross over this road here, we're looking there, see it, the road there,
yep.
Crossing over it, and we're starting into our turn. Now we've got a strong headwind, so what we're going to have is a very shallow turn at first. Now this shallow turn is going to turn moderate at about the 90 degree, and from moderate, it's going to go to steep. So it's shallow, moderate, steep, and then it'll be steep again. So shallow, moderate, steep, steep, moderate, shallow, shallow, moderate, steep, steep, moderate, shallow, shallow, moderate. So now we're moderate, and we're coming around here. Okay, and then we're getting to the steep point. But we're having to use our rudder pedals, we're having to make our corrections in, and then see as we come across the road here, we're going to be just going wings level just as we cross over the road. And then as soon as we cross over the road, we're going back into that turn, into another turn, okay? And we're going to have to be steep or else we're going to get blown far away from the road. Alright, so that was that steep part, alright? And then it's moderate. And notice how I'm out of the airplane most of the time, but every once in a while, I'll glance back in just to make sure everything's going good here, okay? And it's nice. Now we're getting from the moderate to back to the shallow, shallow part, okay? And then I'm rolling wings level just as I cross over the road, and then we're rolling back into this other one, nice and shallow at first. Nice and shallow, nothing dramatic or crazy or anything like that. Alright, and then it'll be moderate, and then steep, steep, moderate, shallow, shallow. So it's a nice little flowing maneuver all the way around, and we're having to switch our rudder pedals obviously, and make our adjustments, and keep our altitude good, and so on and so forth while we're doing it. Alright, now as I roll wings level across this road here, I want you to take over the airplane. Alright, and then keep us doing just this as we come across here. So now I'm rolling wings level, and it's your airplane. So go right into that next turn. Okay, we got to go steep at first because we don't want to get blown far away from that that road there. Rudder pedal, right? Rudder pedal. Now we're going to have to steepen it up here because the wind's trying to blow us right across it. Remember, so it'll be steep, steep, shallow, shallow. Wings rolling level as we cross over the road on a easterly heading and then roll right into that next steep turn. Then it'll become moderate, about 90 degrees through. And then from moderate to shallow, shallow. Let's not climb so much though. All these maneuvers we want to be holding. Yes, we started out at 17 and we should always be at 17. We're climbing up at 1900 right now. So make those corrections, and we can make those corrections while we're doing this maneuver. Alright, so now we're at the shallow point, so this is a good time to be thinking through getting rid of that extra altitude and then starting that turnaround. We're always in a turn. The only time we're wings level is when we cross over the road. Alright, what would happen if we lost our engine right now? Where would you go?
Probably look at that field right there and start towards that field.
So first thing we're going to do is fly the airplane, fly the airplane, fly the airplane. We're going to set ourselves up for best rate of glide right here. Okay, so we set that up here. So we're getting as much altitude out of the, much distance out of the altitude that we have. And then we're always going to be vigilant and aware of our surroundings of where we're at. If we've got an airfield in sight, or a nice strip, even if it's a grass strip, is a lot better than landing in a farmer's field. So we fly the airplane first and foremost, then we pick out a landing spot, which that was your initial thing, which is great. You didn't hesitate on, hey, we need to find a place to land, okay? But let's not be so narrow to think that let's land in a farmer's field that could have wire, barbed wire fences, all that obstruction. If we're vigilant and watch out, we can see that we got this little airstrip out here, okay? And then once we have that, then we can see if there's something that we did that caused it, if we have the time and if we can. So we look through here and we do a quick flow check through here, making sure that somebody didn't grab your mixture, making sure that somebody didn't shut off your fuel tank, something quick like that. So we first of all we aviate, then we navigate, then we can go ahead and we'll troubleshoot it, and then we'll communicate. So we can communicate with them saying, hey, you know, we've got this issue going on here, so I'm just going to call these guys up. I think it's 122.90 here. But we're first and foremost flying the airplane the whole entire time. Alright, I'll switch this over. Oh, pass low on Alright, so you see here we could have made this this field because we're just coming over and I haven't touched the power the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Okay? Low pass runway 18 low. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring my carb heat in and my power in, and I'm just going to do a low pass here. But I just now put in the throttle.
Right.
So you can see here that we would have made that. We would have made that this runway here just fine. Okay, so we do the low pass, check everything out here, and then we'll go ahead and then fly off. But that's just a quick overview of what you do. If you don't panic and you don't freak out, but you notice we just made it over those trees there.
Yeah.
Had we said, oh, I'll go to this field. Oh, no, I'll go over here. No, once you pick a spot, go for it, okay? It's your airplane again. Let's climb up to 1500, and then we'll make a turn out to the west, okay? So once you've made your decision of where you want to go for it and don't second guess it. But at the same time, as you're flying along, now there was another airstrip just to the front of us, okay? And there's another one a little bit to the east of us as well, but I didn't think we would be able to make those. So I chose the one that was closest to us, even though this one we would have been landing with a crosswind, and the one right in front of us, we would have been landing straight into the wind, but because of the headwind we had, I just did a quick calculation in my head, and we would have come short of it, okay? So ultimately you would have wanted to land into the wind, but if given a crosswind landing on a grass strip, or given let's land into the wind on a farmer's field, I'll take the grass strip any day. Alright, once we get adjacent to the end of the runway, there's three things that we're always going to do. Alright, we're going to pull carb heat back, we're going to bring the power back to about 1700 right in there, and we're going to start our descent down and in. Alright, so feel along with me while we do this. Alright, and feel along on your rudder pedals as well, keep your hands right on the yoke as well. Alright, then we look, and we're at about a 45. Once we get at about a 45, we're going to go ahead and turn our base. Alright, feeling along with me. And usually at this point I put in about 10 degrees of flaps, but we're going to do a low path just to make sure that there's no animals or anything on the field. And then, and it's good practice in a if we had a crosswind, to kind of feel it out to see if we could make the landing or not. So we're on our base here. Full traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra Quebec, base to final, runway 27, there'll be low pass here at Bult. Alright, and we're watching our airspeed here. If anything, 66, 65 is good for our final approach with our flaps and everything, but we don't have flaps, so we're going to want to carry the extra airspeed, and if anything, carry a little bit extra airspeed. We can always get rid of it. Don't be dragging it in really low and slow. Alright, then we have our aim point. See how those numbers are not moving? That's our aim point. We land just beyond our aim point. See how that's not going up and down and all around and down and up? Those numbers are staying locked right in. That's because we got a nice stabilized approach coming in. Okay, see how we're doing that? And then what I want you to be able to do, and this will help you with your landings, is to be able to hold the airplane just off of the runway. Alright, see how we keep it right in the center of the runway? Yep. And our aircraft is paralleling the runway. We don't have it kink to the side like this, and we don't have it kink to the side like this. We have it paralleling the runway. Alright, so it's putting in all those little corrections. Feeling along with me? You see how we got to put in all those little corrections just to hold ourselves right above the runway, just like that. Now power's coming all the way in, and we just lift our nose up and climb out at VY, which is our 75. So go ahead and bring our 75 in, get our altitude back up here, and I'm going to go ahead and give it over to you, and it's your airplane, and when we get to about 1200, we'll go ahead and turn our crosswind, and then we'll turn our downwind, and then we'll turn a base, and I want you to do a low pass just like that.
Okay.
And we'll clear over here on the right, looking good that way. Bult traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra Quebec. Turn a final, runway 27, Bult. I have your power, I want you to concentrate on your landing. I'm bringing in the flaps. I've got our flaps in, we're good to go on the flaps, good to go on our airspeed. You just concentrate on keeping those numbers coming down right in your on your windshield, so they're not going up and down and all around, and then keep yourself right in the center of the runway as well. Alright, we're coming down. We've made the runway, so let's go ahead and bring her down. Then once we get her right about a foot, 2 feet off the ground there, we'll just go ahead and put it right up in the flare. Alright, so the nose is coming up slightly, then touching right down there. Alright, and then we follow through, keep it in the center. Alright? So we'll look here, we're clear on the right, we'll clear on the left, I'll make our announcement. Full traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra Quebec, departing runway 27, Bult. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue around here. We'll just do a normal takeoff. So you have the airplane, it's your airplane, and I want you to bring power full in and take off. Full power. All the way in. There we go. Just work those rudder pedals a little bit to keep her right in the center of the runway. Alright, you're doing good. Keep it in the center of the runway. Rudder pedals. There we go. Alright, airspeed's coming alive. We got 50, 55. Let's lift that nose slightly. Let's lift that nose slightly. There we go. A little more right rudder pedal. And we got 75, our VY, so that's good, and we'll just continue to climb out at that.
Alright, now I don't have anything to look at to keep me straight, so what am I looking at to get to the end of the runway?
What's that?
I normally try to find something out in the distance to keep straight, But like right then, I'm looking at clouds. I don't see nothing.
Look at the angle here, or look at the side from this quarter off. That's enough for your eye to reference off of. At least it is for me. If anything, you could look out the side if you wanted to, but me, I just pick something right off the side of your windscreen there. Okay. Because obviously you're only seeing sky when you're taking off at VY.
Right.
You'll see a lot more sky when you're taking off at VX. Okay, we can go ahead and navigate your own navigation, Dead Reckoning, back to Griffith. Anyway, you see how it's starting to deflect there because it's right off of our left there, and we're getting closer. As we get closer, this becomes more and more sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's farther away.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and let them know where we're at here, since we're closer to their airspace. Lansing traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec. Just over Chicago Heights VOR at 2000. We'll be transitioning towards Griffith. Lansing. Okay, so now we've told them that we're here. See Lansing's airport right there?
Right in front?
Yeah, right in front of us. That's Lansing's airport right there.
All right.
Okay? So, we're just going to stay on frequency with them because we might have traffic coming in from the south and so on until we get east of their field. Alright, then we got the city there, and we got Gary way up there, okay? Well, we don't want to go there, so let's go ahead and turn to the east right now. So go ahead and get on the heading of east. And see these big white barrels up there? That's probably where you work. You worked at that, like, whatever the place is that has the holding tanks?
Yeah.
Just to the west of the field. See those big barrels? Always just head towards those. If you can find those, you can find Griffith Airport. Okay? So just head towards the big white barrels, and we'll maintain 2000. You got Griffith in sight now?
Not yet.
Let's just stay on the east heading here. Get it in sight. Just see this road that's cutting across here, just stay on that heading there. And Griffith traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec, 4.5 nautical miles to the west, inbound for landing. Griffith. Got it yet? Or you think you got it?
The airport?
Yeah.
I see it now.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. We'll go ahead and get our lights onto it, so we're on frequency with it, so we'll just hit our lights. Alright, our lights are coming alive, and then we're just going to drop into a left downwind for runway 26, all the way around. So we can go ahead and start our descent down to 1,600 feet. This is where you work, right down here, right?
Yep, you see the 3 new tanks in the back?
Uh-huh.
That's what they're building, and I'm right there on the front of that, where all the electrical grid is.
Okay, yeah, so this is great for you, because this is one of your biggest visual references for finding Griffith. Yeah, because if you can find these, if you can't find the airport when you're right here, then there's something wrong with you, you know? Alright, we'll just we're going to go in a downwind for runway 26.
Okay.
We're just cutting right along here, so let's get a little bit to the side of it, and we'll just parallel right down it, and then we're going to go ahead and drop all the way down base, then final in. Make sense?
Yep. Where's about a half a mile out? Because that's what they told me last time.
Yeah, see this road that cuts right along there?
Yeah.
Okay, so about right
to
in
the
there.
inside of
yeah,
it?
Right in there is good. Usually pretty good. And then usually you can see a couple water towers up in there that kind of you can point your nose towards, but you can't really pick them out in the nighttime. So you kind of have to just go by that road. Or you see how the trees end there.
Yeah.
So if you're just to the south of those bushes of trees there, then you're pretty safe that way. Because at any point in time in the pattern, I should be able to yank your power and you should be able to make the landing. Whereas with this, if I yank your power right now, you are close enough to the runway you can make it. Okay, whereas if you're way out there, some guys will say they're doing a downwind and they're nearly over 30. It's like, you're not in a downwind. You're way south of the airport by 2 nautical miles. We're about half a mile from the airport right now. We do want to hold our altitude till we get adjacent to the end of the runway.
Okay.
That's when we start our descent down and in. All right, so our 3 things are coming up right about now. All right, so pull that carburetor heat, bring it back to 1600 on the RPM, 1600, 1700, pulling back. There we go, and then start our descent down and in. All right, we're looking here, making sure no traffic's coming in here, and then we're waiting for our 45. All right, and we don't have to pitch drastically. Nice, steady pitch down. Once we get our 45, we'll go ahead and turn our base and put on 10 degrees of flaps if we're within our white arc, which we are. See that white arc there on our airspeed, so we're good there. Griffith traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec, left base, runway 26, Griffith. All right, watching our airspeed here, keeping our descent down and in. All right, I have your power, and let's turn our final. Griffith traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec, turn and final, runway 26, Griffith. All right, another 10 degrees of flaps coming on. And we see here that we're just a little bit low on our approach. Wow. So what we're going to do is we're not going to descend anymore until we bring those lights in, all right? See a red one and a white one. Red on the left, white on the right, we're all right. All right, see? We just keep that approach coming all the way in. Because sometimes you can't see the numbers when you've got, when it's dark out. So that's our aim point is those, and then we'll land just beyond those lights there that we've brought in. All right? And we're just nice and steady. See how our airspeed's not going up and down? Right. See our approach is staying good? If we get a little bit of high on our approach, then we just pitch the nose down a degree or two till we bring it back in. And then now that we're on our short final here, I'll go ahead and bring in those last degrees of flaps. Brings us right down and in nice and easy. All right, so coming down. Now we've got our numbers there. Keeping it right in the center of the runway. Then we come down and then we go into our flare right before there. Right there, we don't flare too high. Then we just touch down nice and easy. And we're good to go. Then we just let it roll out. Don't cram on your brakes or anything like that. We're not in a hurry to get stopped or anything because we got plenty of runway. Then we start to go ahead and just slightly apply them both nice and steady. Carb heat comes in. And then we'll go ahead and back taxi. Griffith traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec. Back taxi, runway 26, Griffith. Alright, your airplane, go ahead and taxi it in. I want you to get some practice with that footwork because I think taxiing will help you a lot because you really need to learn how to use those feet.
For the takeoff?
Yeah, exactly. Just follow that yellow line right around. Griffith traffic, this is Cessna 260 Sierra, Quebec, clear of runway 26, Griffith.